Okay, now you're starting. Good.
So what?
Yeah,
Is there
and it
anything?
especially with regard to what you just said about a fast and this, and I feel like, you know what Monica said, everything in my own time, everything in every, and it's that's what I love, you know, that's what I love, that's the inspiration you bring, and she brought. And I'm at a point in my life I've done so many, I jammed so many things, I forced myself in so many things, you know, like the spiritual straitjacket. And I don't want to do that anymore. And in my own time, I also tasted this fasting experience and I know it's gorgeous and I'm going to be there. I go towards it, but in my own time and at the moment, it's just, for me, it's actually eating all kinds of crap like French fries and these things without feeling guilty and without having any side effects, so to say. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, you can check that off the list.
exactly. Yeah, that's an important thing, but it's more important than to make the body immortal right now.
Well, I'm in the same way. What's ironic is a lot of people know me for this pure diet thing, and we have a potluck this afternoon with the fire and a drum circle, and we're going to do a vision board class today. And some of the people who bring their food are like my dear friends Indira from India, and she can make authentic Ayurvedic Indian cuisine that's off the charts. And I
Yeah.
sample it, and I go, all right, sampled it. It was good job, delicious. But
Yeah,
I don't fill up a plate. I just kind of like nibble at everybody's food,
exactly.
and I'm happy.
That's good. Yeah. Be non-dogmatic.
Yeah, and it's a lot more fun. It was all that food's prepared with love, so you get a lot of extra love that's thrown and so's in there.
That's true. Yeah, and I think I like to enjoy eating at the moment.
All right, let's see what Uma said on the chat. She says, I see it, but it doesn't do anything when I click it. Definitely breathing through this. All right. I'm going to have to get her on Facebook Messenger, see if we can piggyback it together. It'd be nice if you could do that. Uma, McLean is in the house. Hi, McLean. I'm going to take off the recording for now. Goggles for he got me going with putting urine in the goggles and wearing goggles for 5 or 10 minutes and getting your eyes totally bathed and saturated. So kudos, shout out to George there on the bottom left.
I think I remember his picture in the first book. No, the first book he did with the goggles.
Unless I'm mistaken, George went by the name of We Love All on Facebook. That was his name for a while. Great to have you here, George. Uma's trying to figure out how to get on the call, but she can hear us. And iPhone is the mystery caller from somewhere on the planet. What time we got? 10:36. Let's all take a deep one of these things.
iPhone is actually kombucha. I'll probably be on video in a little bit.
Oh,
But I'll be listening for now.
all right, Kombucha Clark has joined us in the corner there. So before we get started, I'm going to read our disclaimer. In case you haven't heard it before, the reason I do the disclaimer is because some people got on our calls, and then after the fact, they realized that they were drinking their pee in front of the world with their daughter and got embarrassed and told me, take down that video, take it off YouTube. We had to hit like 250 views. And I said, well, you know, this is for the world. You know that we were going to discuss the subject and you knew we were going to record it. So I came up with a disclaimer, and so I'm going to read it. It's posted in the Facebook announcement, but I'll read it anyway. By participating in the World Urine Therapy Conference Zoom calls, you acknowledge and support the personal use of this ancient yogic practice. You agree not only to participate in a live streaming broadcast on the subject, acknowledge that you are being recorded, but also agree to release Brother Sage and the Shivambu organization from any liability from the use of the recording of this video on any platforms, either online or offline, for the education and promotion of urine therapy. If you decide to be in attendance of the call and not wish to be seen or heard, simply mute your camera and audio or leave the call. Is that clear? That's the most authoritarian I get on these calls. Okay, so we've already heard the disclaimer. Let's just start off with everybody and find out what your journey's been like. What new things have you discovered doing urine therapy, or any testimonials or anything you want to share? And if we can limit it to 2 to 3 minutes, that would be awesome. Then we're going to go into the prayer and formally start that way. Let's see, Matt, you want to start us off?
Sure. Hey, I'm Matt. I'm in New York City. And I think what I'd like to share today is I love things that just help me change without me having to discipline myself in a really intense way. For example, here with urine therapy, my diet is just shifting. My tastes are just shifting so dramatically. And like that's been happening for a while, but then a new phase of that began recently where I really don't like a lot of stuff that I could maybe go for. But now it's just not happening. That's the way to describe it, which is just so cool. Yeah.
So you would say that your cravings have changed?
That's exactly right. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Or the dark devil force of those foods and drugs have gone bye-bye, they disappeared?
Yeah, like bread and meat. You know?
Deep within our Shivambu, our holy water, is encoded information and energy that came with the body, that came with the zygote as it was forming into an embryo. It has the knowledge to regenerate cells and bring back perfect body function. So when you start giving it back to your creator, or giving the water back to your body, it immediately, boom, it activates that wisdom and it goes to work with the medicine, with the regeneration, with the purification. And so some of the things that were with you through your journey just kind of fades away.
Couldn't agree more.
Anya, share us your journey.
Yeah.
What's new with you?
Yeah, well, what's new is I've been doing more of the protocols again. I'm in a private space at the moment. And I've seen, or I felt like I get all kinds of bumps, like pimples here on the head. And then I thought maybe that's a reaction to some weird spike proteins or whatever. And then I decided, or it felt like, no, it's just a cleanse. It's just happening. And I don't wash with shampoo anyway, so I keep putting aged Shivambu on it, but it has its own time and it's there and it will be there until it's gone. And it's fine. But other than that, I enjoy the protocols and I'm drinking, but I'm also eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just doing like what Matt says, I'm not in the space right now to discipline myself very much. So I'm just enjoying and doing whatever I do, all kinds of things, plus not wasting any drop as much as possible. And also seeing what that does. Sometimes it doesn't taste so good if I had like more sugar or whatever. And then we had a chat in the morning, Brother Sage and I. So I'd keep this then and save it for external use. I'm doing the scrubs, or not scrubs, the massages on this. And I was so inspired by that Touche's and Monica's interview, and Touche's and your interview. So beautiful. More of that. And I want to actually pick up, I don't want to go into detail right now, but I picked up on something that you, Brother Sage, said to Touche, and it was, if I heard you right, it was like, all of that can really not give you real liberation, because unless you have this one, it's not gonna be complete. Now, I just want to put on the table here, I've been spending the last 19 years in a place in India which is a jnana sthala, and it's a jnana yoga. It means you kind of blast your brain. You don't blast it, but you watch it and you find out there is nobody there who thinks. Thoughts are there, but don't touch them. Anyway, so but then to my urine fast, and I've been doing urine therapy for 25 years, but only a little bit. And this year only I'm jumping into all the protocols, but I have done this other work. So really something is coming home, and it's exciting, but it's calmly excited, and everything is happening in its own time, and beautiful to be here, to be with all of you. Great.
Before we go to the next guy, I want to add to that calm excitement. There was a Chinese herb master that I studied with about 30 years ago, and he teaches this. He teaches this approach, and he calls it calm arousal. And I've been able to do this with Shivambu. You're at the state of neutrality where there's a stillness about you, and you're calm, and you're available in the moment. You're not being thrown off by what people say or their body language or about energy. You're calm. However, in that still calm place, you can also kick up adrenaline and get the arousal and the excitement going if you need to have, if you need that strength, you need that force, but you're always calm in the middle of what's going on around you. And these days, when you're out in the public, you need to practice that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not everybody's practicing that.
But that deep space, which is our true nature, it's not our true nature, it's our true self. Like the body and whatever we perceive, that's our nature. But beyond that and prior to that, that's always calm. It's always there, it's always stable, it's rock solid, even it's not substantial. So the practice is to be there always. And of course, fasting on urine very much helps to be all the time there, not being thrown out.
Thank you. McLean, give us 3-minute catch up with your life, and then we're going to get over to the rest of the folks and get going here.
Hi, everyone. So, I mean, I have been doing this for a long time.
Tell us your name. Tell us your name.
McLean.
I'm
I'm McLean, and I'm in Berkeley, California. And I do both fresh and old. I learned here about sort of just throughout the day taking sips of my aged, and I just got a sun jar that is the one with the spout, and it's great. So I'm collecting all that, and every day I just go and take a little, throughout the day. And I have Brother Sage turned me on to carrying this all the time. It's in my backpack. And, I love it. And I feel good. I feel like no matter where I am, no matter who I'm with, no matter who they're with, I hold my center. And I think that's what you were talking about. And, I think life is about having fun and making decisions based on what feels good. And, the Shivambu goes along with it. And
beautiful.
That's my story. Doing it in my eyes and my ears, especially when I'm showering, and my belly button. I use a dropper sometimes, and I'm amazed at how much it goes in the eye and keeps going in, and it's great.
Thank you. I took the advice of Monica. If you guys haven't caught it, the latest interview with Monica Schutt and Tuğçe. She's in New York with her husband, Jason, but she's from Turkey. They had a wonderful talk, and Monica says, you got to do the aged urine massage. If you can do it for 10 days, if you can do it for 21 days, man, it hit a chord. I went out in the backyard, got naked and poured it on me and massaged it in. Fortunately, Christopher, you can come over and do that. Fortunately, I live in a place where people walk around naked in the back 40 all the time because we're that kind of community. It's safe enough to do that. So it's a lovely opportunity to go out and give yourself an aged urine massage out in the open. Speaking of Christopher, let's have you check in and tell us what's been going on since we saw you last.
Okay, I'm in Boulder, Colorado, about a mile away from Sage. I'm excited, I'm confused, I'm looking for clarity and inspiration. I'm working on a mission statement, looking for the best way for me to spread the notion of urine therapy to the world. My practice is somewhere between sip looping and looping on a daily basis, and with a lot of the protocols, I don't do aged urine except topically, and I'm experiencing overload in my life. It's self-induced overload, and I'm I'm looking. I'm hoping. I don't know if any of you saw the Deadpool movie. You know how like he put him he had cancer and he put himself in this this program where they just like push you to your max and something happens, something like rises to the occasion. I'm hoping something like that will happen with me. Otherwise, I'm manually trying to navigate the polarity of expansion and consolidation.
Thank you. Guys, you got to get to know Christopher. He's our web genius for Shivambu.org and the Shivambu Hut. So if you have any suggestions or input, shoot it out to him or send it to me and I'll forward it over to him. Nicola, you want to join us on the camera? If not, let's go to Uma, who figured it out. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hello.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Give us a 3-minute wrap up of what your urine journey has been for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, my name is Nicola, and I've been trying to practice urine therapy like on and off for kind of a couple of years here and there. But I never did aged urine so far, so that's something that I would like to try. I have some stored, and I guess I would like to talk to you, Brother Sage, later on about the implication of that, because like the things from the books are kind of confusing with what I see experience of people are online. So yeah, it helps me to, especially to clean my stomach. If I have some stomach problems, I just drink a liter of it and everything goes out and I feel a lot better. And yeah, I think everybody should use the medicine that conventional doctors are extracting from us to make their medicine. So I think it's a much smarter way.
Thank you, Nicola. He mentioned something that Martin Laura teaches in his book, Uropathy, and I've been using it. It's pretty powerful. You drink a whole quart, or in some countries, a liter of your Shivambu when you wake up in the morning. Like you see what Uma's holding? You would drink the entire, thank you, you make a great model. You would drink the entire quart in one sitting, and you better be near a toilet within an hour or two. Because when I first did it, I had 5 rapid waves of bowel movements. Boom, 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 boom. I couldn't leave the bathroom no matter what. And then 2 hours later, I had 2 more. And so it's also something that Stanley Burroughs taught in the Master Cleanser. If you remember Stanley Burroughs from the 1970s, he taught the Master Cleanser, except his concoction was distilled water and 2 teaspoons of sea salt.
Right.
And not everybody's a salt fan, but you do have sodium within your Shivambu. So you may want to try that sometime. Uma, tell everybody who you are and give us a 3-minute wrap up of what your journey's been like for the last couple of weeks, and do it in 3 minutes if you can. Turn on your microphone. Find a microphone picture on the bottom left.
She's not muted though. It's probably on her computer.
Yeah. Wow, she figured out the camera part. You're going to have to sign.
This is funny.
Okay, well, let's come back to you when you figure it out. Yeah, thank you. Kombucha, tell us who you are and what your journey's been like. And you got 3 minutes, so go.
Greetings, everybody. This is Kombucha Clark in sunny South Florida here. Just living the dream. I've been on Shivambu for about 6 years, and what I've noticed is that the more Shivambu, the more urine therapy I do, it actually the more I get to live my truth. The more it strips away all of the ego, it strips away, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Obviously everyone notices a physical detox with it, but I've noticed with it on all levels, where I've completely changed my life. It basically woke me up. I recently just got my massage therapist license here. I'm also a Reiki master. I've been I'm starting to do that here, and just the journey just keeps on rolling.
Wonderful, thank you. Let's go to George Johnson. Open up your microphone, George, and give us a little wrap up of what your journey's been like and any insights or discoveries that you've come across on your Shivambu journey. George, open your microphone. You're on mute, George. Now it was, there you go.
George Johnson here, middle of nowhere in Montana. Have only been doing it, I'm just a newbie, 3 years now. I have steel rods in both legs, had to learn how to walk all over again. Almost died 3 times in my life, did all my own therapy. Anyway, most incredible element on the planet. I tell everybody I'm a wild man. I go on all kinds of Facebook groups and try to teach about Shivambu. And I am constantly put down. Even my daughter today, all day long, she lives in Las Vegas and said she was going to start doing Shivambu a while ago and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, thanks for letting me join your group, Brother Sage. It's so incredible. Love you guys very much. Thank you.
Thank you, George. I believe, George, were you the one who took pictures over in Yellowstone Park with Shivambu on the street?
Absolutely, absolutely. I tagged a sign in Yellowstone Park. It said Yellowstone Park, and I wrote Shivambu in front of it on the pavement with 3 different colors of chalk. Anywho, people think I literally peed on the sign. I didn't pee on the sign, but anyway, Cal from Australia, he says that's why they call it Yellowstone Park.
And maybe it is. Maybe it's from all the buffalo pee. Who knows? Uma, did you unmute yourself? Uma, that would be you. Can you talk now? Hadn't figured it out. All right, well, grab your Shivambu. Let's do a quick prayer. Let's do a prayer. Even if you can't talk. You guys may know the prayer by now. It's in this book. I don't know if you've ever heard of this book, but people buy it for some reason. Okay, here we go. I take this water. Now we're going to do call or response. So I'll say it. We're going to wait for Anya, or maybe we won't. I'll say it and then you'll repeat it. And it's just like going to kirtan, if you know what that is. Here we go. I take this water of life.
I take this water of life.
I declare it the water of light.
I declare it the water of light.
As I bring this water within this body.
As I bring
this water
within this body.
It allows me to glow.
It allows me to glow.
I take this water of light.
I take this water of light.
I declare it the water of God.
I declare it the water of God.
I am the master of all I do and all that I am.
I'm the master of
all that I do and all that I am.
So be it.
So be it.
So be it.
So I've been talking a lot about the movement, and it seems that 4 years ago, this is the reason I'm going to bring in Christopher back into my life and the board of directors over the Shivambu organization, because 4 years ago, when we put this all together, we were meeting in a downtown public library, got the blessings of the library to not only announce Urine Therapy of Colorado meetings and meetup groups, got the blessings of the Downtown Boulder website, and it got the attention of CBS and NBC, Channel 7 and Channel 9. They showed up and recorded our meetings, and they came to my house and they recorded not only me teaching protocols and drinking in front of the camera, but what's interesting is they did a wonderful piece on it, and it went viral. We had 40,000 views. And even though at the end of the video, the doctors come on and demonize urine therapy, it couldn't stop the message. It went out there, it went really well. So what I'm doing is I'm working on bringing back that up to 2021. And I've recontacted these channels and newspapers who did interviews and see if we can get caught up with the movement. And same with the board of directors, because we got all new stuff we're putting together. Christopher and I are working on new things for the Shivambu Hut members that we're excited about bringing on. And so you'll hear more about it. Did somebody just join in? No, that's kombucha. So there's a whole lot of things going on in the movement. I'm going to be interviewed on a show in California on Tuesday. So you'll hear, I'll post the link when that's up. What are your thoughts and what are your feelings about what's happening internationally with Shivambu? Anybody can jump in on this one. You guys are the strong silent type. Matt, what's your feeling?
What's happening? Can you fill us in what's happening internationally?
Yeah, you're my go-to guy regarding those facts, Brother Sage.
Well, I got my finger on the pulse. I made an announcement about a month ago to see who is doing urine therapy in what country. We want to create some kind of spotlight on meetings, organizations, and so forth. Many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we discovered that China had a Chinese Urine Therapy Association that was boasting 1 million members. That's a lot. And Germany had boasted umpteen million members. And many countries were saying they had so many members. What I'd like to do is gather up some kind of data to bring all the people like in Virginia who are looking for community, looking for people that they can dialogue and support and find some comfort offline with each other. And when we did this in Boulder, it was idea as a carbon copy technique. So you guys could see, well, I can do this. We can take this to the people who need this kind of answers to their sickness and support them. So if anybody has any ideas about how we can do this on a broader scale, let's have some ideas here. You guys are powerful. You say it with less words than I do.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of that, maybe people can start looking, like, for example, to introduce urine on some kind of a ways that they can tolerate, because most people don't like using urine due to its taste. So what I found is that, like, for example, how they can start, instead of drinking a drop, they can take, for example, a strawberry and dip it into urine and eat like that or something like that. And I think people should create like, maybe those kind of recipes or maybe some kind of help so that people gradually introduce urine in their diet to the point where it's just normal drinking as like water to them.
Well, thank you. That would fall into the area of what I call baby stepping people.
Yeah.
Because just like waking people up in 2021 about what's really going on the planet versus their idea what's going on based on the illusion of television. So what we do is we baby step people so they can form a new neural link and a new context in which they can understand it. If they always thought it was dirty, nasty, and disgusting waste product, and they didn't know any other way to approach it, it's our opportunity to show them that there's another way to approach it. So the first thing I do is have people just touch their pee, catch a little, touch their pee, and notice you didn't die, you didn't get sick. It's really not as bad as you're making it out to be. All right. So the next baby step is to lick it and notice that you're doing just fine. And then the next baby step would be to get a dropper and drop a drop or two under your tongue. And you step them up to eventually they're at 1 ounce, they're at 3 ounces, they're at 6 ounces, and then they're ready to go.
Yeah.
So if you have any other ideas of how to help people to bridge the gap, that's.
Well, I have a question. How, and this goes out to everybody, but especially to Sage, how much do you think peer pressure plays into whether a person will develop a urine therapy practice?
I don't know what percentage, but I would say there are plenty of people who came up that will talk to you and talk to everybody in the group and say, well, I've had to keep it secret. It's my little practice. I don't want my husband, my wife, my kids, my whatever to know about that. However, they find more courage and more comfort and more strength when they talk to people in the community. They find out it's all in their mind about disapproval and rejection. And when you get through that, you'll be just thrilled to be able to share it with people because you have something that's changed your life and you don't want to hold that back. A lot of it has to do with our approach to the subject.
Hey,
That's kind of what I wanted to mention. I'm going with the feeling of I get to work on myself, and because I'm failing at trying to, you know, talk with my close friends. So there's that discouraging aspect, but then there's the really cool thing of when I change, people notice, and they notice consciously and unconsciously. It's just like that's a really cool idea of like I can kind of be kind of selfish in how I go about it, and then just it will easily just communicate itself. But yeah, we should take all approaches that are available. Like why limit ourselves? So
Thank you. And another thing you can do is, as people, their association is, I'm gonna do what with my pee? I'm gonna drink my pee? Are you freaking crazy? Are you in a cult? What's gone? Have you lost your marbles? So what you do is move away from the conversation about oral use, invite the conversation about topical use. Like when I go to this clothing optional hot springs with my friends and they're slapping on SP36 suntan screen, and then 2 hours later, they're still whining and moaning because the sunburn hurts like hell. And I've already done the urine all over my body. I say, what's the problem? I don't have a sting. I've got beautiful tan. Did you guys notice what I did? You know, same with bug bites, hornet stings, cuts, scratches, bruises. Start them on a topical use. What do you think about that approach?
Yeah, that approach maybe is better to use because it's kind of popularized by modeling industry, because like all the girls are like, they like are not shy to say that like they're using urine on their face like night before, like when they go to sleep, and then they wash it off in the morning. So that's kind of like a protocol for them to keep looking younger. So I think people should see the example of famous people who done that and to point finger and be like, you see, this person didn't die, so who are you to think that you're something less or something? Like for example, Madonna, she drank urine, like, and there is like many people who did that, and those people are like kind of like examples, maybe even the wrong examples, but examples at least in that urine is not going to kill them.
Yeah, I mean, they all have merit. I mean, we posted on the Shivambu hut that video of Madonna. She did an ice bath and she drank her urine. We also have a video of Boy George talking to a television host about drinking his pee. And we've been collecting all those over the years. But what you're getting at is how comfortable you are with the subject is going to make a big imprint on other people. So,
hey,
yes, George.
I have a friend that's 80 years old, lives in Lake Isabella, California. Back in the day, 50 plus years ago, he was in a group in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco, some kind of new age thing, you know, back when it all started with, anyway, blah, blah, blah. He said, how many people in this group drink their pee? Everybody raised their hand. And so he started doing it. So any long story short, he was in England as a teacher, living with another couple, and they were all laying in bed. And he says, I drink my pee. Immediately, they kicked him out of the house. So anyway, long story short again, am I still there? Anyway, I told him what I've been doing only 3 years, and he just can't believe it. And he has all these health problems. And I said, Tom, all you have to do is do what you did 60 years ago. Anyway, you know the story. Everybody knows the story. So funny.
Well, they're going to keep an eye
Crazy,
on you.
right?
They're going to watch you. They're going to watch Anya. They're going to watch Christopher, Uma. They're going to watch Matt. They're going to watch you guys. And as you get healthier, younger, stronger, sexier, I always throw that in for some reason, people are going to ask you, what are you doing? Anya, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I basically tell almost or let's say everybody that I'm rather close to what I'm doing more now, and based on their reaction, I tell them more or less. And sometimes the conversation stops right there, which is also okay. Some are interested, but they are not. Actually, nobody was like, yeah, one person was like, yeah, well, just don't tell me anymore about it. But a friend of mine who's open and who started to do like drops, just somewhere, she said the other day to me, you really look much brighter and clearer since you do this. And I found that was a good, that was, of course, it's always beautiful to hear that, but that was a good confirmation also. So as you say, when this goes on, then, people will be also, I think the best is to teach by example always, or to influence by example, not by talk so much by people. Whoa, what is this? So I'm confident.
We have fire gatherings, potlucks, drum circles, gatherings here at the Sanctuary Garden here in Boulder about every 3 weeks. And the last one we had, I found that half the people there were my urine therapy students. And there was a percentage of, it was incredible to feel that. And then a percentage of them were going, tell me about this urine therapy. What is it all about? And, I tell them, and it would either sink and land or it didn't. And then some people a week later and go, I drink my pee for the first time. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Thank you. Keep going. You just took the first step on the path.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that like in terms of all of these health practices, because it's kind of very rare for people to have desire to be healthy these days, since the media and everything is like trying to like present opposite system of value. Like what we should do is to lead by example. The leaders should lead by example. And when people see our light, like they're going to naturally be drawn to us. And those kind of people are actually the most explosive preachers who like say nothing, but they glow. And it's like, yeah, can't miss the sun in the middle of the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Uma, I think we just heard you.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. I had to refresh my screen because everything looked like it was allowed, but anyway, so here we are.
Congratulations.
Blessings. So happy to be here.
So Uma, tell
Yes.
everybody your name and give us a quick 3-minute overview of your urine therapy journey, insights, healings, anything you wish to share. This is your moment.
Okay, so my name is Uma Shri. That is my Sanskrit name from yoga teacher training, and it means tranquility, Uma, or light, luminous, and prosperity. So I've been watching you guys since February, and it wasn't until just recent conversations with Brother Sage that through Facebook that I got the courage to come on here. But it was also just really listening when was the right time to do that. And so I have September of 2013 is when I began my journey with Shivambu. I heard Bear Grylls talk about it. Just, if you're in the desert and you're in a jam, you can do this. Also with the beast, jellyfish stings and things like that. So throughout my life, I heard that. But it wasn't until September, I believe, of 2013 that I felt like I was getting an abscess in my tooth. And I did not want to go to the dentist at all. And I figured, well, there's got to be some holistic treatments for this. And somehow I was led to this path, and I started just, putting it in swishing it around. And within like a month, I didn't have an issue anymore with that tooth. And in fact, I started going to the dentist as much as I didn't want to go. I started going because I said, you know what? I'm going to go to all my doctors. I'm going to go to the dentist. I'm going to just have them check over my whole body. And because I want to have a start point. and then, like that. So the dentist was telling me, she said, it's really amazing. Your teeth enamel is not supposed to grow back. It is not supposed to grow back. And she's like, what's going on? I don't think I shared it with her, but I just smiled deeply inside. So basically for almost 8 years now, it's been a saturation event for me, I guess you could say, in all aspects. So all the protocols, I do not have a nebulizer, which that would be really cool. Thank you, Matt and Brother Sage. And I just feel like it's for whatever reason on my journey, the number 8 means new beginnings. And so for me, this is to meet you all and to share my story. In fact, not that I forgot, but today was the next Zoom meeting and I was cleaning things. I told Brother Sage this, let me get my little thing. Hold on. And so I was cleaning and getting ready to leave the house to
hold it up a little higher. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, the little like sculptures with the little guy peeing. So I was trying to find a place for this little lamp. And then I was going to go out to the store. And then I looked at the lamp and I said, oh my gosh, he's not peeing. It's got a little toga on, but he's holding up a light. And I just said, oh my gosh, the Zoom meeting. So I was so excited because I want to me, this is symbolic because I want to share the light of my journey, my unique experience. And so many times since I started, people have asked me, you're just glowing. What is it? I'm 55 years old. And I love when people say that I look younger, but to me, that's a segue. And I really kind of try and figure out, is this the opportunity? Am I supposed to speak and share my story or my story? But I really listen and watch the other person. So anyways, I could ramble on, but I am grateful to be here. And I've had so much overall healing in so many aspects, but I just wanted to say that I love you guys and thank you, Brother Sage.
Thank you, Uma. One thing you could do when people ask you your secret is you could just say it jokingly. Well, I drink my tea, doesn't everybody? Say they go, are you serious? I'm going, well, maybe. Stick around.
Yeah. I have shared it numerous times, and it's funny the reactions you get. The eyes wide open are like really disgusting, facial contortions. Like they want you to stop right there, but it's all good.
Well, how many people do you think will admit that they pee in the bathtub when you ask them that question?
In the lake, everything, I'm sure people have done that.
Yeah.
People just.
People do that all the time. Now, one thing that you brought up, which is a great way to start to break down their defenses, is to say, you've heard about jellyfish stings and man wart. Particularly, guys, if you've been to Hawaii or Florida in the tropics, they will tell you, even the hospitals. I had a friend who got jellyfish, he got stings all over him. So we rushed him to the hospital and they said, you could have just put urine on him. And we thought we would have loved to pee on our friend. That would have been great. George?
Oh, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, but it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Life is so beautiful. I live where I live. What you said, Brother Sage, about pouring, I'm going to put me a mat outside in my front yard. And in a couple of days, when it's 100 degrees out, I have still, like I said, I have steel rods in both legs. I have a lot of bad circulation in my lower body. My upper body is pretty good. But anyway, I'm going to lay out in the front yard. I have 20 gallons of pee from 3 years ago when I first started. When I first started, I detoxed for 3 months. So I thought, why throw it away? So I saved it for 3 months. I have a lot. Anyway, I'm going to lay out in the front yard and I'm going to pour it all over me. I just love that, Brother Sage. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, thanks, George. I go for these 3.5 mile hikes every day, and it's a great opportunity to get to know the neighborhood, to clear my mind. Sometimes I go to an open field and scream at the top of my lungs or sing just to clear my throat, my throat chakra. And I keep seeing these galvanized cattle troughs that are perfect for a urine bath. And I'm just going to get one of those cattle troughs and keep it in the backyard keep filling up with urine and put a lid over it. And I'll just use it over and over and over again. So I'm sure there's something you guys can, because people have been talking about doing urine baths for years. And not everybody's got 7, 10, whatever gallons needed to fill up a bathtub. But if you don't have a hang up about what's in there, like the city water, just bring in a gallon, whatever you have, and it will alchemize the rest of the city water. And that homeopathically will be your urine bath.
I'd like to chat about that for a second. Sorry, George.
Floor is yours.
Thanks. The interview yesterday or a couple days ago with Tuche and Monica, you know, I'm in a smallish apartment situation and I don't want to have a large urine bath stinking to high hell situation. But the idea of putting it through cheesecloth, letting it self-cleanse for a while and separate out with that like crystallization process, or the white blood cell eating, like Darlene was literally showing us on another call. These various ways that I could self-cleanse, and I'll like get a tub and put it in my sauna. Actually, I got one in this NYC apartment, which is also closed. But yeah, it's really about the smell. I want to see if I can do this without it stinking. So that'll be my experiment. Not that the stink is horrible, but you know, I want to be able to do it here.
You want to stay in your apartment.
Yeah. But then also I really like what they were talking about in the interview, where it could be a beneficial cleaning process that we could support by removing, but just by putting it through a cheesecloth. Now, I think personally, just if I were to continue sort of the line of thinking here, that stuff that we're removing is beneficial in probably mostly a homeopathic, like, and you know, you guys know more about this, like homeopathic dose of the poison or the toxin trains our body and gets a healing reaction going. But you don't need a lot for that. Like I would never drink a lot of heavy sediment urine. I would absolutely not be able to tolerate it immediately. So anyway, I think I'm going to discard that stuff.
In the garden, in the backyard?
I don't have it. I'm in Washington Heights.
That tree that's in the cement downstairs?
Yeah, okay. So like I got the cheesecloth and it's just kind of disgusting. What do I do with that?
With the material, the disgusting stuff in the cheesecloth.
Okay, yeah, like wring it out, wash it out, get some water like that, and then do something. Really, I just kind of wanted to broach this subject. I'm clearly still thinking about it, and I really liked their interview, which covered many topics. And this idea of like cleaned aged urine starts smelling like a rose and still has, you know, the vast majority of observable benefits. That's cool too.
You know who Dr. Roz Hansen is?
Vaguely.
Definitely.
I just remember the name.
She's been doing urine therapy since she was 9 years old.
Yeah, hit me.
50 now. And she says urine it will gas out after a while and the ammonia smell goes away. We don't know the time frame in which it gases out and it changes chemically. But she says she was encouraging everybody, just bear with it because that smell changes and then it starts smelling differently. Cleaner, rose smells or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've definitely started to notice some rose smell in some, and I haven't been like super thorough about this cleaning process. So, you know, plenty to experiment with. I think I'm still gonna have to do this.
I have a question. Like a few days ago, my left foot got like swollen for some reason, and I was putting urine on it a little bit and consuming it, and it's still like swollen, and I was putting like my legs up and all these different things. So do you guys have any suggestion of how I could treat that, or what could I do? Because I don't really want to go to those you know, cyborg people in the hospitals.
It's on your leg, is that what you're saying?
It's on my foot, on my left foot, and it's kind of red. And I was kind of walking on some earth, like doing some earthing, and then like I wasn't washing my feet for I don't know what reason, but I was like scraping it with my finger, and then like it created a little bit of wound, and yeah, I guess the earth fell into that or something. I don't know, but I was kind of had difficulty walking a little bit. But this is the first time it happened to me. Like every other time it was okay.
The things that come to mind is foot soaks and compresses. I mean, soak a cloth, cheesecloth, flannel cloth, whatever you got, and wrap it around your foot or ankle if you have to keep it inside some kind of a ace bandage that holds it, or inside a sock, so you can just, penetrate the urine inside that area for as long as you can.
Yeah, I was I put some alcohol there. Like we have a famous drink here called the rakia, but that's like alcoholic drink. It's like urine is kind of different. And I also ate like some old honey with some propolis, and that seems to like help me a little bit. But yeah, so would you recommend me maybe, or suggest to me that I go to like short time fast or something, like maybe 2-3 days just?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of things I'd ask you. So if you want to talk to me in private message through Messenger, we can go deeper into that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Is honey insect saliva? Is that true?
Like spit.
Yeah.
Well, honey's not insect saliva. Honey is made by insect saliva. So
Yeah.
I mean, in combination, you take like bees are taking things from the flowers, and then they spit it on to like a kind of blow it in, and then you get the honey. The only thing I don't like about honey is that like my teeth hurts afterwards, so I need to rinse it with distilled water or something. But yeah.
Well, in the case, Nikolai and everybody here, this confirms one of the wisdoms. I wrote a chart on the Shivambu wisdom if you ever want a copy of it. But one of them is that this work that we're doing is an intuitive art.
Yeah.
Shivambu is intuitive. So you can ask folks like me or Harry Matadine, or whoever experts in this practice, but ultimately your intuition is going to be your best source, your guidance on everything. So listening to your intuition and that gut feeling that you have.
Yeah, I mean, like it's some people say it's maybe a thrombosis, but I don't think it's thrombosis because like I'm kind of too young to get a thrombosis, but probably some kind of swelling or infection, or I'm not really worried about any kind of bites, like spider bites, because like people use survival in the survival situation, they use urine for snake bites. So like what is spider in comparison to that?
Uma, did you want to answer that?
Yeah, I was just going to say the intuition is really so important. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yeah.
My intuition was telling me I don't know how it started, but like back in 2000 and I think it was 2003, I had like the worst like dry scalp or whatever. It was flaky. It was embarrassing. And you couldn't really see it, but I knew it was there. But I was juicing a lot of green juice or a lot of carrot juice and such. I think there was a detox happening, but it was on my head. Well, when I started Shivambu, I was applying it topically, but then I stopped using the city water, and within I think 3 months it had cleared up, and I suffered with that for like 13 years. It was crazy. So your intuition, it definitely will guide you into what to do. I would suggest foot baths I would just soak my feet in Shivambu for hours if I had that, what you're experiencing, Nicola. And while you're doing that, it's a great time for meditation and just visualizing the healing, just saturating that area. And yeah, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, as I said, this happened to me the first time in my life. I usually like go to my yard and I go to the dirt and when I'm kind of bored, I play with the dirt and walk like sunbathing like in my house. But yeah, like this is the first time it happened. But I noticed that like I wasn't able to walk very much because it was hurting, and then I started consuming it like looping, and every time I do that, I feel easier to walk. So I thought, oh, I can just continue that, but I really like to for the redness and the swollenness to like go down. But yeah, I'm gonna do the foot soaks.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, and this is constantly surprises me, is that after doing urine therapy since 1994, I still have toxins that keep showing up. And I've been coughing a lot and mucus is coming out of my lungs, out of my sinuses. It's like, it's such a delight to be able to do alternate breathing through your nostrils. They call it nadi breathing. When you can't do that, you can't do that. So this is what I've been doing, is snorting it up my nose and then blasting out either side, cleaning out mucus out of my sinuses. And I'm I mean, years later, things are going to start showing up in your body. Plus, we didn't eat perfectly our whole life. Plus, there's airborne evidence. There are things that come in the air. There are things that show up electromagnetically in our lives. There's things that come to us from our pets, from our lovers, from all kinds of different locations. So saturation dosing is a prevention, not just necessarily a cure. And so when you build having urine in your life on a daily basis, it becomes a lifestyle and not just a little habit you do, but it becomes your go-to medicine. It becomes your go-to first aid.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, the connection you make to it.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, I need to leave the call. It's been great to spend time with you. I really appreciate the community that we have together.
Blessings, Christopher.
Bye.
You, brother. Thanks for
Cheers,
joining.
Christopher.
Thanks, brother. George, talk to us.
Yeah, I remember what I was saying a while ago. I have 3 friends that are dying on their deathbed. They will not drink their urine. It's so funny. This one friend of mine, I brought a tablet into town. He doesn't have the internet. He doesn't have no internet, nothing. He just reads newspapers. This guy is a genius. I gave him my tablet, Martha Christie's Your Own Perfect Medicine, downloaded on there. I gave him the tablet. He read it immediately. He didn't put it down and then read it the next day. He read it immediately. He still won't drink his urine. It's so funny. His legs are terrible. His feet are terrible. Everything on his body is terrible. It's so sad. I can't believe it. But anyway, that's life. Life. Love you, Brother Sage.
Love you too, George. Glad to have you in my life and in this group. There may be ways that we can act like a secret agent.
It was exciting.
Yeah, right.
One of my new students, from her very first drink, she got a big hit of yes on doing urine therapy. And she hasn't slowed down. It's been 2 weeks. And her daughter's got some health challenges. When she introduced it to her daughter says, "Mom, are you crazy?" And she gave her, you know, the negative response. I said, "Listen, why don't you offer your daughter a massage? Don't tell her what you're massaging her with, and see what happens that way." So there may be a way that we can introduce urine to our sick friends, elders, family members, without them fighting against us. It's the same with our animals. Hold on a second. They're the same with our animals. People going, "Well, I don't know if I talked to you about it." They said, "Well, my cat's got this so-and-so infection, but I don't think I can get my cat to drink his pee." I said, "Well, you either find a way to get into his food or you give him a massage." He's not going to fight you on that because cats love body work. Uma. Uma, go ahead.
Speaking, that was great. I had a feral cat for many years and he got so sick. I don't know. He literally looked like he was going to just keel over that day. And so I just saturated him gave him a bath and just saturated him. You know, cats don't like to be, you know, jump in the water or anything, but I totally saturated him. And he just, he became alive. He lived 2 more years. Like, he just got better. It was amazing. And I massage horses, and there's a lot of rescue horses that I am with, and I'm really wanting to talk to the people to see if I can help them with taking the horse's own urine, and you know, if they have thrush on their on their hoofs or whatever, just any kind of wound, they're rescue horses, and a lot of them get put down. So that's kind of like I'm hoping to really work in that area to bring healing to the horses
And
with their own medicine.
if there's any way you can document it, this would help the horse industry worldwide.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and especially like, for example, I am often visiting my friend who has like a few hundred sheep, and I kind of help him with that and stuff like that. And he has like 20 medications that he like mastered everything, like about how he should heal the sheep, and how to prevent parasites, and what to do with sheep who has diarrhea and stuff. But there was one woman on a urine therapy conference said that in a book from what's that guy called, Brother Sage?
Which book?
Water of Life.
Yeah,
John Armstrong.
John Armstrong, yeah. That he has there like some healing testimonies about that. And I would really like to see if there are other people who are healing their animals like that, because if I go somewhere and something happens to this like, you know, crazy civilization, I need to know how to keep them alive. So
yeah, this is why I've been suggesting to people to record and document all the successes you're having with this modality, because we are making history as we go. We're helping not only educate the planet, but we're pushing the tipping point in the paradigm shift over as fast as we can. This is why I'm constantly getting in front of a camera, constantly writing content. Even though I think I mentioned to Uma several times, I thought I did enough for the planet. Can I leave God? Can I go off on another journey? And I can't. I'm in it to win it. So I hope you guys are committed to your health and be able to help other people the best you can.
Is an ancient word for urine. You know, I talk about it all the time.
You do, George.
Oh, sorry about that.
If I can quote George Johnson, Shivambu is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's me. When I first started doing urine therapy, I wrote Shivambu equals awakening all the time back 3 years ago, and people were getting sick and tired of me saying that. I said, if you don't like it, don't say a comment. Doesn't matter, because now everybody accepts it. Nobody argues with me anymore. Life is grand. Love you guys. I gotta go. Bye.
All right, George. Much blessings to you.
Bye, brother.
So that was a thrill for me. I hope it was for you. I've been following George Johnson since he showed up on the urine therapy Facebook groups, and he was always an inspiration because he had comments like Shivambu was fucking awesome, and he would go places, and he had, is it a shirt? Is it a Shivambu shirt you have, George, or was that on your car? Did you?
Oh yeah. Both my cars. I got a '99 Cadillac and a '99 Geo Prism Shivambu, and I misspelled the word because the county said, years ago everybody had vanity plates, and now they want to know what it means. I said it was a dog I had when I was a little kid. They didn't. Anyway.
The less they know, the better.
Yeah, it's really beautiful that people can like do something for free, and like it's almost, I think some people don't try it because it's like sounds too good to be true. It's like I don't have to spend like thousands of dollars in operation. Are you nuts? Like there is nothing better than that, you know? And it's like there is so many like free things that people can do, like urine therapy, incline bed, like birthing, sunbathing, like cold showers, whatever. And one thing that I recently discovered, and I don't know, Brother Sage, I invited you to the group, is called pidalagine. And that's something where people heat themselves and like microcirculation toxicity goes out. And because it's like a huge amount of stem cells that like go up. Some people say it's very good to do that in combination with urine because people are using urine in modern medicine to like thin the blood. And this is going like up, like toxicity to the surface. And what my theory would be is that when people drink it, it can kind of scoop it out and bring it out. So what do you think about that?
I think it has practical application.
Yeah.
Keep doing it. And if you have anything to share about that you can post in any of the Facebook groups or Shivambu Hut, I think that would help people.
Yeah, because that's it predates Chinese medicine. When people like they just lab themselves until the toxicity goes out, and then urine can like kind of go and scoop it out and bring it out. But there is some like people need to know how to do that, and it's kind of painful to do, and it's not for everybody really.
Well, we're teachers. Whether you know it or not, you're teachers, and you're teaching by example, you're teaching through silence, you're teaching with words. Now, one thing I want to point out is that we're at a place and a time in our human history where things are being revealed, things are being disclosed, things are being brought out to the public as fast as possible. If you've been watching the freedom movement, and they're revealing all the dark players on our planet so that all the sleepy people will catch on and wake up. Well, we're at a perfect timing to introduce urine therapy to individuals and to the planet. As people have given up hope on the medical Big Pharma Institute, that corporation, and they've given up on education, and they've been giving up on religion and giving up on all kinds of things that we have led to believe was true, they're going to be seeking alternatives because people are desperate. And when people come up to you, this is your opportunity to help them find an answer. So now is really not the time to be timid. Because you might be something that Spirit led him to, and you're the voice that needs to be heard from. Uma, go ahead.
You know, the pharmaceuticals collect horse urine to make a premenopausal medication for post-menopausal women. So they impregnate these horses just to get their urine from when they're pregnant. And it's funny that people don't think because it's a pharmaceutical company issuing this drug from a doctor, but it came from a horse's urine, you know? So it's just funny, but I just want to say that.
If you'll do your research or go back to Shivambu Hut, there's all kinds of literature and information about the health and beauty industry that takes the urea out of the urine and makes it into hi David, and makes it into skin care, hair care.
Right.
There's a product called Urine drops. Well, if you take that word apart, it's urine is in murine. And it's out there in the public. Urea products have been in the public for a long enough time that people, they're aware of it, but they're unaware of it. So we're helping to bring that to people's awareness and to the light more and more every day.
Yeah, it's so funny how people are more ready to pay for something that like the same substance that they can get from themselves. It's like, I just can't believe people are doing that. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like people go to a doctor and be like, "Oh, save me!" Or here is a tablet that thousands of men like pee through the in public places, and urine is filtrated. And oh yeah, drink that, but don't drink your urine. You know, like you might die because you know it's too toxic for me, for my budget or something. You know.
Well, that's where you get to explain to people that it's not a toxic product, and it's not so much about what you drank or the drugs you took or the alcohol you drank or the cigarettes you smoke. It's more powerful than all of that. And it doesn't really, urine is so powerful, I still like to call it Shivambu. It's more powerful than whether you drink your urine, a man's, a woman. It's not gender specific. It's not age specific. It doesn't matter what race. It doesn't matter if you drink it from a sick person or a healthy person. It's more powerful than plastic if you store it in plastic. We need to expand our thinking about what does the water of Shiva, the blood of the Lord, really mean to you? And how can you embrace it in a way that you understand why it is considered holy water and sacred water all over the planet?
Yeah, and that kind of suppression of information is not done just now. Like in ancient times, like rich people collect their urine and they use it, and they like kind of make their little bit of like primitive campaigns, because they didn't have like television and stuff to broadcast it. And they would say, oh, just don't tell to the poor people and you're always get our customers. And that's been up for centuries and centuries and centuries. It's like, it's not something that like was trying to be hidden 2 days ago. And people are not aware of that. People think like, oh, you're a freak. You just discovered about urine therapy. And I'm like, well, your grandpa probably survived, because when a snake bit him, he drank like full liter and continue on. So,
yeah. And if you stay strong and you stay healthy, people are going to they're going to come back to you. They say, well, maybe Nicola got it right. Maybe all got it right. And maybe the doctors have been selling us a crock of UrineTribe. All propaganda, because more money in urine therapy.
Yeah, and I also find that like people who consume urine, they have like much better attitude. And I think that the more person is toxic, the more there is self-hate and self-rejection. So it's kind of like more difficult for those people to try urine, because they never allow themselves and they don't think they should do that. And it's like, you want me to drink my own pee? Like, you're ridiculous. But if the same person went to hospital and they said to them, oh, here is an apple juice, or something, they would drink it, they would get better, and they would be like, oh, thank you. Like, you saved my life now. Yeah, people actually heavy doing that. Like, they take like bottles of apple juice and they're like, oh, like, cheers, brother, like, let's drink. And the person would be like, oh, wow, my brain feels better. What kind of apples is that? I would be like, my own source, you know.
We're going to come to a close here in just a minute. I got to get on with a whole lot of stuff today. But guys, if you don't know who David Townsend is, he's happened to be on our screen without a shirt on. David, would you tell people who you are and just a little bit about your Shivambu journey?
Yes, I'm so glad to be on here and thankful that you shared the link with me. I just recently was able to hop on here. I actually have been in this journey of what I would call self-sustainability and complete love of myself for over 2 years now. And that involves the practice of drinking the holy water, the most structured living water that exists. And I've really come to cross many leaps and boundaries, as now I'm actually on another fruit cleanse. Today is day 9 of my journey with only fruits and mostly liquids and some herbs, and of course looping all my urine. And this is the 4th cleanse that I've done in a span of 1 year. And the reason why I've been doing all of these cleanses is because I noticed that every single time, the less that I consume, the more energy I seem to have. And I realized that what I've been taught my entire life, that I need all of these nutritional supplements and all of these things to get all the things that my body needs, were a complete lie. And now I've just been on the journey of really sharing myself in that way with others and being that supporting guide for them. And so I've actually began doing urine therapy coaching very recently, within the last couple of months. And I have people reaching out to me every day asking questions now, because I've been posting videos on my Instagram and my YouTube about it, and also specific posts regarding it. And the most amazing feeling that I can ever have is to know that there is other people out there that I can save their lives really with this medicine, as it saved my life, because I was in a place where I did not know that if I was, going to be completely sick or in a place where I didn't have enough food or water, that I could always tap into my own waters and I would be able to live no matter what. And also it's lifted me from pretty much all fears that I've ever experienced in my life, because they've all stemmed from the fear of dying and the fear of death. And now I realize this eternal elixir has given me back my immortality and my realization that everything I could ever want or need is inside of me. And that is the most liberating feeling that I think a human being can experience. And I'm not going to say it's necessarily tied to drinking your urine, but that is something that for most people that do it, it awakens that within them, and as it has for me. And I, of course, have just been taking it in through every single possible protocol that there is. And my goal is ultimately to get to the point where that is the only thing I need, and then eventually becoming full-on breatharian, which I think, and I know deep inside I'm going to do within this life. And I'm so grateful and glad that I have the support of all you water brothers and sisters to guide me through this journey on. So infinite gratitude.
Mm.
Well, guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to join in on the call today. You guys mean a lot. You're more than just family, but you're courageous pioneers who are taking the message to the planet and not holding back. So if there's any withholds, you'll find out. It'll come up to you and you get a chance to look at it. Any last remarks from everybody? Take a minute or so, and then I'm going to close out the call.
Yeah, I just want to add in terms of breatharianism and using urine as like only like a source to sustain our bodies. I actually have a book here that was originally written in Russian, and it's translated to the language of my country. And it says that people on Caucasus Mountains, in some period of time, they would only drink their urine and nothing else. And that's recorded in some kind of a, like they had like kings and queens and stuff, like in some kind of secret documents. And those people were equally healthy as everybody else who like practice any kind of health practices. But the key difference was that they didn't have to eat or drink nothing else, and their skin color was a lot better. So I don't only think that the urine is sustainable. I think people can actually improve, like on some time drinking urine.
Totally agree. I wanted to add something that I don't know if I heard it from Uma or David, but it has to do with immortality. And I wrote an article that got published in 2006. The name of the article is Your Sacred Living Foods and Your Spiritual Path, and now I'd add Shivambu, will not save you from your mind. If you have self-destruction in your unconscious and you're miserable in your soul, and you really hate life, Shivambu won't save you. So you've got to get right with your God. You got to get right in your soul, and know that your life urges are going to win out. That your commitment to living means you'll bring in any resource you can to stay alive, to thrive, and to keep going on the journey. And then Shivambu will be a big hit for you. Kombucha, mute yourself.
Yeah.
You're muted, Kombucha.
Everything kind of comes from the inside out. So yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, make it
Okay.
quick.
Yeah, David, I appreciate you bringing the breatharian idea into this. I've been on the breatharian path myself for quite some time. Right before I started urine therapy, I went all raw vegan. I was vegan before that. And then I started intermittent fasting about 5 years ago. I got down to 2 meals a day, then 1 meal a day. And then I was on 1 meal a day for about 2 years. And then this past 2 years, I've gotten it down to about 2 meals a week, all liquids. I do a lot of tonic herbalism, and lots and lots of Shivambu, and I don't even feel that great when I eat. Like when I do eat, it's a simple salad, and I don't even eat high sugar fruit anymore. I'll eat some coconuts, some avocados, but mostly it's like tonic herbs, and Shivambu. So it's and it just seems to be a natural path. This past few years, I haven't wasted any of my Shivambu at all. Actually, it's just it's either getting drank, or I'm doing an enema with it, or rubbing it on the skin, shaving with it, whatever. But it all gets used. I honestly believe it is the fountain of youth. I've reversed my age at least 10 years. If you met me 5 years ago, you would have thought I looked 10 years older. And I really honestly believe that it's the fountain of youth, and it is the elixir of immortality. If but like Brother Sage says, you do have to you have to get your mind right too. So, and you have to believe. So it's a holistic thing, but the urine is definitely a great tool.
Thank you, guys. I love each and every one of you. Let's close with a cyber hug. I like how David and Kombucha do it. I'm hugging each of you. I'm hugging Matt and Nicola. You guys have a joyous journey today. I'll be uploading this and getting the link available shortly, and got a full day. But we're going to do this every 2 weeks unless I get a conflict in the schedule. So,
Cool.
love you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.